skipping you this week because
Yes.
you haven't been playing anything.
Too busy, I'm afraid.
So straight on to those viewpoints of Greg about the Gardens Between. Are we all going to get it on sale?
Well, we'll see. So yeah, it's one that I think I maybe had it on my watch list as well a while ago, and the price was just, originally $17.99 I think, and it's only 2 or 3 hours long really. So that sort of price tag was always really off-putting, and when I'd seen videos and screenshots and stuff of it, that sort of visual aesthetic and stuff, it's a really nice looking game, but for me it kind of evoked memories of Journey and stuff, where it's it's trying to tell sort of an emotional sort of tale or something, and because I had such a bad experience with Journey, well, not a bad experience, it was just completely underwhelmed by it, I've always kind of shied away from these sorts of things. It's I'm not really going to be into it or something, but just whenever I seen this on sale, I thought, you know what, I fancy something just short, bite-sized, just something that I can play in a weekend and just experience it and see how I feel about it after. And for $5.57, I thought, yeah, I'll jump in at this price. So it's basically a puzzle game, and there's 2 characters on the screen, but you don't control them directly. You actually manipulate time instead. So there's up towards about maybe about 18 or 20 levels in total in the game, so everything's sort of split up into levels, and it's almost like a Captain Toad sort of size of a level. It's there's basically a thing at the top or place in the level where you have to take a lantern and fill it with light, and then take the light to this beacon at the top, a pillar, and then put the lantern in, and then that's the level over. So along the way there are different puzzles that you'll need to solve. So you'll jump into the first level or whatever, and obviously you'll move the analog stick, and obviously your characters will move, but it's the characters walking automatically by themselves. There's a boy and a girl, so they'll go along the path, and they'll maybe they'll take different paths or something as they're walking up. So there'll be different things that each of the characters can do. The girl, she always holds the wee lantern that you have to fill with light, whereas the boy, he's the only one that pulls on there's these wee cords that you pull on sometimes, or other wee things to interact with to do different things. But basically you move the time forward and back, so you'll move forward, and then you'll maybe come to an obstacle that you can't really get past or something, and maybe you'll need to rewind the time back again to find something else in the environment that you can interact with to make something change so that you can go through that. And there's lots of different things to do. I was actually surprised by how many different ways they found to make it interesting to keep doing that forward and backwards of time mechanic. Because you think there isn't really that many puzzles that you could maybe create with just moving time and not the characters and stuff, but I was surprised. Each level's kind of filled with sort of everyday sort of objects that you maybe remember from childhood and stuff, different sort of toys, or playground equipment, or PC monitors, or games consoles or something. So there was one puzzle, for example, where you move time forward, and the boy and the girl obviously move forward, and as they're going through the environment, they run across this keypad, and they'll each jump across the buttons on the keypad, and it'll be different numbers they'll stand on as they're going across, and you'll see those numbers appearing on a wee old PC monitor sort of in the background, and you, obviously that's going to be significant later on, so you'll go a bit further through the level, and you'll maybe see a code thing, a password thing rotating, and as you move time forward a wee bit, you'll see it like they're all kind of lining up. So, oh, that's the number I need to. So you'll rewind the time back, and then you'll have to figure out what way to like move time forward and back to make sure like the characters stand on the keypad in the right combination to make something open up, and then obviously you progress through the level that way. And there are other things you can do, like there's like these wee cubes that maybe jump around the environment as well. So you kind of have to like, you'll be watching what your characters do, but you'll also be watching like the environment to see what things move as time moves on, and what time things happen, and when you maybe need to stop the time for things to happen. So but like there's these wee like cubes that you can drop, you can set your lantern on, because there's obstacles in the game. For example, there'll be like sort of like a purpley cloud sort of thing that if you have the lantern, you can walk through that, like it sort of lights up that area and you can go through, whereas it's blocked off. Whereas sometimes if you're holding the light, there's these platforms that you can walk on, but if you have the light, you can't walk across the platform, so you maybe need to set it down somewhere, or so you can set it on these like blocks, and then you can see them moving to different places in the environment. So you maybe set that down so you can do something, and then you'll retrieve it later on somewhere else. But there's quite a few things there where like you really are having to pay attention to to where things are moving, and yeah, it's quite good. Some of it's almost like, you know, that game with like the cups where there's something under the cups and things are being moved around. It's a wee bit like that in some instances, but it's very good, and some of the puzzles are quite clever. I would say like I would recommend it actually at this price, definitely. Like I had a good time with it. Like there was nothing that stumped me for too long. There's definitely a few tricky puzzles in it, and there's one which involved like frequency, which I didn't like. It didn't register with me immediately what I had to do, and it took me like I started going back and forth through the level a few times, thinking what do I need to do here? But then like I did figure it out, and that probably will happen a couple of times, and it was like you are maybe stuck for a second, and then it'll just come to you, or maybe other times you might actually just stumble upon a solution that you didn't realize. But it's very good. The only criticisms I would really have of it, was spoken about the price there. I definitely wouldn't get it for $17.99. It's for what's there, and there's like no replay value or anything with it. Like it's way too high, despite how good it is. But the moving time forward is fine. Like it's quite slow, you know, you see the cart just moving, and that gives you a chance to see everything. But when you're rewinding time, like it's the same sort of pace. So like if you've kind of figured something out, or are doing something repeatedly to try and find what the thing is, like rewinding so slowly, it's very slow. But I would say like I definitely wanted to speak about it this week because it is on sale, and figured like if you're interested in it, I would say definitely go for it at that price.
Yes, because it won't be on sale for much longer.
Yep.
I think it's the end of this week, so as the new sales kick in, I think this one drops off of sale. So.
How does it run?
I never noticed any problems with it at all. Like good. It's the only time you see like a slightly wee judder is in like it's whenever like you beat a level, and then it's like that kind of every level sort of split into sections. So you have like it's like comets really. So there's like they're all telling like a different sort of tale, and from like a different sort of aspect of like your childhood or whatever, you know. It'll all become clear in the sort of story. Like there's a sort of overarching story, and you'll see in the end what it's about. It's nothing like groundbreaking or anything, but it just kind of tie everything together quite nicely, and maybe will make you think about your own life a wee bit. But it's just whenever like there's maybe like 3 levels, and once you beat a level, like that sort of goes up into like the sort of like level, the entire level, and you just sort of see like the frame rate like go a wee bit maybe just when it's loading the next bit up. But it's obviously it doesn't impact anything. It's not important in the slightest. Yeah. have I sold you on it, or
A little bit, yeah. I might consider it at that price. It's not too bad.
Yes and no. Yes, because it's a good game. No, because of something we'll talk about later in our big topic, the size of the backlog. I'm picking up too many £1 games. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a like if you've enjoyed our content. You can also check out our other great content on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the N-E Café podcast from all good podcast providers. Just follow the links in the description below.